స్టూడెంట్స్, ఈరోజు ఇంటర్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఫిజిక్స్ క్లాస్లో మన టాపిక్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఆఫ్ ట్రజెక్టరీ ఇన్ ప్రొజెక్టైల్ మోషన్. దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్. జనరల్గా దీన్ని 4 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్ కింద ఐపీఏ ఎగ్జామ్లో అడుగుతూ ఉంటారు. అండ్ ఐఐటి, జేఈ అండ్ నీట్లో ఇది చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్. స్టూడెంట్, ఇంకా టాపిక్లోకి వెళ్తే టాపిక్ నేము పాత్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రొజెక్టైల్ ఈజ్ ఏ పెరాబోలా. ఏదైనా ప్రొజెక్టైల్ మోషన్ తీసుకుంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏపీఎస్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్స్ ట్రజెక్టరీ ఈజ్ ఏపీఎస్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ పెరాబోలా. దట్ ఈజ్ I want to show. First of all, what is meaning of projectile? What is projectile? నా నోట్స్ రాసుకుంటూ ఉండండి, ఇది మీకు యూజ్ అవుతుందని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. వాట్ ఈజ్ ప్రొజెక్టైల్? ప్రొజెక్టైల్ అంటే ఏంటమ్మా? నేను ఇది ఎక్స్ యాక్సిస్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ ద వై యాక్సిస్. ఏదైనా ఒక బాడీని నేను త్రో చేశాను విత్ అన్ యాంగిల్ థీటా and this is a particular velocity u. Then it follows the path parabola. Its trajectory is in the path of parabola. That is we want to show. So now how to define the projectile? A body projected with some velocity making an angle other than 90 degrees with the horizontal axis is known as projectile. So how to define this projectile? Right? So a body, let us consider it is a body. It is thrown with some velocity. It makes an angle theta with the horizontal axis. This is called horizontal axis. This is called vertical axis. So a body is projected with some velocity making an angle theta with the horizontal axis, and this theta value not equal to 90 degrees. Suppose the theta value is equal to 90 degrees, then it is comes under vertical projectile. Right? Such a type of motion, it should be called projectile. Right? So here the body is travel in the path of parabola. That is, you want to derive mathematically the path of that body is in parabola path. Now, for that purpose, consider a body. Let a body be projected. Let a body be projected with velocity u, making an angle theta. So here what is the condition? Theta not equal to 90 degrees. ఎవరితో యాంగిల్ చేయాలమ్మా? with the horizontal axis, right? With the horizontal axis. Now మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి డయాగ్రామ్ వేద్దాం. This is horizontal axis and this is the vertical axis. The body is projected with an angle theta. What is this? This is the velocity, initial velocity, say u. Now what is this value? Theta. Right. This is the origin. Now here this velocity we resolve into two components. One is along x direction and one is along y direction. The x direction component of the velocity we can represent it as ux is equal to u cos theta. So the component towards the angle side we called as cos theta term, and this component we can represent it as uy is equal to u sin theta. So here the velocity is resolved into two components. One is ux is equal to u cos theta, that is component is along x direction, and other one is uy is equal to u sin theta, this component is along y direction. Suppose when we observe the acceleration of this projectile along horizontal, this value is equal to 0. There is no acceleration along this horizontal direction, and the acceleration along y direction is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity. It can be written as a is equal to minus g, right? So here this component it is depends upon the acceleration due to gravity. That's why that component magnitude value which is gradually decreases. For example, here the component size is like this. When come to here, this becomes like this. At this point this value becomes 0. But here this is the horizontal component, this is the y component. This is the horizontal component, this is the y component. This is the horizontal, this is the y component. So here the horizontal component magnitude values always remain same, but the vertical component value it is depends upon the time. So here this component value which is gradually decreases. At this point you have only horizontal component. This is the maximum point. At this point you have only horizontal component, that value is equal to ux u cos theta, and the vertical component value is here, that value becomes 0. So whenever we calculate the maximum velocity of the projectile, the uy value is equal to 0 and ux value is exist. Right? This is the concept. Now notes also write down. Right? The velocity u can be resolved into two components. Firstly, the component along horizontal axis. The component along horizontal axis is entama ux is equal to u cos theta and along this direction, what is A value? A is equal to 0. So this component does not changes with respect to the time. The component along vertical axis. The component along vertical axis is uy is equal to u sin theta, and along this direction, what is the A value? A is equal to minus g, and this component depends on time. ఈ కాంపోనెంట్ దేని మీద డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుందమ్మా? టైం మీద డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సో ఇన్ దిస్ మేనర్ you resolve into two components. us is equal to u cos theta, uy is equal to u sin theta. Right. At a particular instant, the particle is at a point P. Let us consider at a particular time, the projectile body is at a point P and its coordinates are, say, x comma y. So what is the value of this? Y, and this value is equal to x. This value is equal to x. Right? So at a particular instant, the body is at a point P, its coordinates are x comma y. Let the particle reaches a point P at a time t, and its coordinates are x comma y. Right. సో ఇక్కడ ఒకసారి టేబుల్ వేసుకుందాం. This is x, this is y. So velocity along x direction, this is ux. Along y direction, this is uy. Acceleration along x direction is 0. Along y direction, what is the value of acceleration? Minus g. Now, first one, in horizontal direction, what is the situation that is you want to calculate? In horizontal direction, this is first you calculate the displacement of the particle along the horizontal direction. So what is the displacement of the particle along the horizontal direction? You can represent it as s is equal to ut plus half at square. So uxt plus 1 by 2 at square. So here, what is ux value? U cos theta. What is a value? 0. What is the displacement of the body at a point t along x direction? You can represent it as x. Now this equation becomes x is equal to u cos theta into t plus this value becomes 0. So from this, x is equal to u cos theta into t. దీని నుంచి t is equal to ఎంతమ్మా? x by u cos theta. X is equal to u cos theta. This is the formula. This is the expression of t. Now, what is the case in vertical direction? In vertical direction, in vertical direction, in vertical direction, what is the displacement formula? Sy is equal to uy into t plus 1 by 2 a t square. Uy is equal to u sin theta. What is the a value? Minus g. What is the sy value? Y coordinate value. That is y. And what is the t value? T value is equal to x by u cos theta. X by u cos theta. That is the value of t. Substitute these values in this equation. Substitute these values in this equation. So, ఇక్కడ sy అంటే ఎంతమా? Y is equal to uy. uy అంటే u sin theta into t. t అంటే ఎంతమా? x by u cos theta plus 1 by 2 a value minus g t square అంటే ఎంత? x by u cos theta whole square. ఇక్కడ u ఈ u క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోయింది. y is equal to tan theta sin theta by cos theta is nothing but tan theta into x minus 1 by 2 g x square by u square cos square theta. Right? నేను ఇప్పుడు say tan theta is equal to a అనుకున్నా and 1 by 2 g by u square cos square theta is equal to b అనుకుంటా. Now this equation you can written as, now this entire equation we can written as y is equal to y is equal to y is equal to ax minus b x square. This is the equation of the trajectory of a projectile motion. Y is equal to ax minus bx square. This represents equation of parabola. Therefore, the path of projectile is parabola. కాబట్టి మనకి ఏదైనా బాడీ తీసుకుంటే దీని పాత్ ఎలా ఉంటుందమ్మా? ద పాత్ ఈజ్ appears in the form of parabola. సో ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే this is the velocity component along x direction, this is the velocity component along y direction, and along this direction the acceleration is equal to 0. Along this direction the acceleration is due to gravity, and here the velocity component is depends upon the time, and here the velocity component usually remains same. So whenever you are moving in this direction, the vertical component value decreases but horizontal component remains same. At maximum height, the vertical component becomes 0. You have only horizontal component. So at this point, the vertical component becomes 0. You have only horizontal component. And the path is appears in the form of parabola, and its equation is y is equal to ax minus bx square. This is the formula of projectile motion. Thank you for watching this video, and for more useful videos, like, share and subscribe my channel Sri Academy of Physics.